In the bitter cold of February 1959, 9 young adventurers set off into the unforgiving Ural Mountains, seeking challenge, discovery, and glory. They were experienced, trained, and ready, or so it seemed. The wind howled through the snow-covered peaks, as if warning them that nature has its own rules. Each step they took was a step into the unknown, into a landscape so isolated that help would be impossible. But excitement blinded caution. Laughter echoed through the frosty air, a fleeting sense of security as they pitched their tent, unaware that their fates had already begun to twist in unimaginable ways. And then, something almost imperceptible, a shiver, a whisper of dread, lingered in the silence, unnoticed yet eternal. Days passed, yet the group's journal entries revealed more than just coordinates and routes. Odd comments appeared. "The mountains feel alive tonight," one wrote. "A shadow moved among the trees," another noted. The cold was relentless, but so was a creeping unease. The team, usually confident, began noticing things they couldn't explain. Strange sounds, footprints that didn't belong, the sensation of being watched. They laughed it off, yet unease persisted. And then came the night when something shattered the illusion of safety, a scream, muffled, distant, carried by the wind. They would never speak of it again, not in their words, not in their actions. But the mountains had begun to claim their attention, and slowly, silently, their lives. Rescuers found the tent days later, slashed open from the inside, a horrifying image of panic and desperation. Footprints led away into the snow, some barefoot, some in socks, disappearing into darkness. What drove them to flee, half-dressed, into temperatures far below freezing? Fear of what? A predator? The unknown? Something otherworldly? Each step away from the tent was a step into the abyss, yet they ran, as if guided by invisible forces, abandoning everything, every piece of warmth and safety, to confront a terror no one could yet name. And as the wind swallowed their cries, the mountains listened, indifferent and eternal. The bodies told a story words could barely describe. 2 were found near a small pine tree, huddled together, frozen, hands clutching each other in fear and despair. Their clothing was inadequate, shoes missing, as if fear itself stripped them bare. No struggle, no marks of attack. Yet death had come swiftly, silently. It was unnatural. Observers whispered, hypothermia. But how could pure cold explain the horror in their faces, the unnatural positions, the unrelenting terror frozen into their eyes? The mountains had claimed them, but in ways that challenged logic, reason, and human understanding. And still, the rest were out there, somewhere the snow had not yet revealed. More bodies emerged. One inside his parka, face pale, tongue missing. Another with fractured ribs and shattered skull, yet no signs of external trauma. Radiation traces on clothing. How could nature inflict such selective horror? Theories were whispered, dismissed, yet impossible to ignore. Avalanche, military experiment, UFO encounter. Each explanation felt both plausible and entirely wrong. And as investigators combed through diaries, maps, and photographs, one truth emerged. Something extraordinary had occurred here, something that defied explanation, something that still whispers in the frozen wind, waiting for anyone daring enough to listen. Scientists, historians, and thrill-seekers debated endlessly. Could fear itself kill? Could a sudden avalanche of unknown force account for the mutilations? Perhaps a secret weapon? Some even suggested something beyond human comprehension, something alien. But no evidence could confirm a single theory. The mountains remained silent, indifferent, guarding their secrets. And yet, the story spreads, echoing across decades, because people cannot resist confronting the unknown. It is a tale that chills, a tale that fascinates, a tale that asks the impossible question: what truly happened that night in the Dyatlov Pass? And perhaps, what waits for the next traveler? Imagine yourself in that desolate landscape, snow stretching endlessly, darkness pressing down, silence absolute except for something just beyond sight. Something moving, something unseen. The hiker's instinct to survive, to flee, to escape, collided with a terror no one could name. They ran into the cold, into snow, into death itself. And what is terrifying is not only what we know, but what we cannot know. The mountains conceal, the wind erases, and history leaves only fragments. Every photograph, every journal entry, every whispered rumor is a thread leading deeper into the void. And the void watches silently, patiently, eternally. Even today, decades later, the Dyatlov Pass incident remains unsolved. Researchers revisit the scene, attempting explanations, yet the mountains keep their secret. And maybe that is why the story endures. It reminds us of the fragile boundary between curiosity and danger, life and death, known and unknown. It whispers a warning. Some places, some nights, hold mysteries that humanity cannot confront. And when you hear the wind howl or see shadows among trees, remember the 9 adventurers who vanished and ask yourself, could fear, the unseen, the inexplicable, claim you too? The Dyatlov Pass waits, silent, patient, eternal. Even after decades, the Dyatlov Pass continues to whisper. Locals tell stories of footprints appearing where none should be, of strange lights flickering across the mountain peaks, and of cold winds that carry whispers of the past. Hikers venturing near the area report inexplicable chills, a sensation of being watched and fleeting shadows just out of sight. Some claim to hear laughter, soft and eerie, carried by the wind, as if the lost adventurers themselves are still wandering, trapped between worlds. Each echo in the snow is a reminder that some events leave marks beyond physical evidence, haunting the landscape with questions humanity cannot answer. And now, as you sit and imagine those frozen nights, the terror, the unknown forces that may have claimed 9 young lives, one chilling thought remains. What truly happened at Dyatlov Pass? Was it nature, science, fear, or something entirely beyond our comprehension? No matter the explanation, the mountains have sealed their secret. They wait silently for the next soul daring to explore, to venture too far, to look too closely. And perhaps, if you listen carefully tonight, in the rustle of wind or the crack of ice, you might hear the echoes of that fateful night and realize that some mysteries are meant to remain unsolved forever.